makes African art so African is the collection of imageries and designs that, when piled up together, when combined together, they provide a real richness in definition, a richness in African culture and African lifestyle that proves to me that, traditional African art, in my personal opinion, is closest resemblance to mankind, the closest resemblance to being human. This rich lifestyle filled with spiritual ambiance and filled with spiritual connection that is separate from all these worldly things, these materialistic, ideas and wealth. I look at these images, these paintings, and they fill me with a euphoric feeling that you see, to me, as I look at these paintings right now, they don't seem like art. Our 21st century eyes deem this as artwork, but to me, African art, I'm using it again over here, but traditional African art is just a representation of life. It's a representation and a respect towards spirituality and this real connection with nature, this strong relationship that is cultivated through a respect towards life. African art, in the traditional sense, is simply, life and love and the respect towards nature and this common exchange that both of these ideas are going through. These images that you're looking at the screen right now are extremely beautiful. This and the beauty of these paintings are just in their simplicity, in their minute details that transform the viewing. Just simply looking at this animal that's paving its way towards humans living, to a deeper understanding of African culture, a deeper understanding of human existence, where, in my personal opinion, the tribal mentality, this connection towards humans, and this group thinking and this group actions is experienced obviously together. And I feel like African art is not just always showcasing humans you know experiencing life together. I feel like also, with the Queen Mother pendant mask, there's this real, minute details that, when combined together, creates a real beautiful viewing experience that, really gives you a lot of, respect, and also, humbles you to say to yourself that, humans have not changed, hundreds and maybe even thousands of years, and we're still, longing for friendship. We're still longing, for family, and this group mentality hasn't changed about us. It's extremely, in our core, and that's the beauty of African art. It brings us back to a very humanistic and, pure sense of what it means to be a human. I just wanted to delve further into the Queen Mother pendant mask, its history and its beautiful elements. Just looking at the piece itself, there's just a plethora of different elements that that put me to shock. That kind of sparked me to life. The top part and the bottom part of the face region is filled with images of what, to me, it looks like elephant's face with a trunk, but actually the historical explanation of it is that this is a representation of the Portuguese who visited the Benin. Not visited is a nicer word, but who enslaved the Benin financially and even physically through colonialism and all that stuff. So look at the forehead, look at the lips, look at the nose, the eyes, the ears. There's just a plethora of different images that fill the viewer with excitement, that fill the viewer with mystery. It's a really beautiful piece. Just to break off a little bit from the project, I just want to acknowledge that I say the phrase, I say that out of nervousness and fear, and hopefully that doesn't damage the pace and the structure of the video. And that's what I'm starting to get out of all these paintings and these artworks, is that African art seems to, revolve around the human conscious, the human element of life. And, this is probably one of my favorite paintings. This is one of, more obviously more of a modern, African art. To me, it has, I feel like a real strong connection to this piece. It seems really desperate, it seems really isolated, but it also looks hopeful. It looks impactful. It looks also filled with mystery. This to me reminds me of waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning and thinking, how the hell am I gonna finish all these essays? But this piece is really beautiful, man. The sun that's hitting the top of his head, blocking that sort of aspect of his face is really beautiful. The Now I'm also understanding that, as I mentioned earlier, the human is the centerpiece of African art. The black man is the centerpiece of African art, and the representation of the human in their art form is filled with mystery, filled with thoughts, filled with excitement. This picture right here, it's a man whose shadow and shadow of his bike also is being seen, fills me with a feeling of understanding, but that understanding leading to confusion, as most art pieces do give me. um, African art is just really centered around the human and the beauty of humanity in the group form, and also in its isolation, also in its complexities. And the answer to what makes African art so African to me always comes back to the group mentality, the family-oriented society where materialism and worldly ideas are non-existent. As humans, they work together, they enjoy each other's company. Love is life and life is love, and they simply live. And this picture, it seems very dire and seems very, rough, but, they're experiencing this thing together. The combination of the railroad with the stuff they're carrying on top of their head, gives me a sense of immersion between two worlds. I just wanted to bring us back to the cave painting of the Bushmen, the Sun People. And as you could see, African art is as simple as humanity. It's the group mentality. It's living life in the spiritual world and in the nature, the natural world. Their expression towards nature and their expression towards humans. That's what African art to me is. African art is simply humans and their experiences.